Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Asurim yonimapanna mudha janmani janmani. Now here the teacher is trying to conclude the fate of these exclusively materialist or those people who are seeking only dharma, artha and the kama. So all these three things, artha falls in the purview of tamoguna, Kama falls in the purview of Rajoguna, and Dharma falls in the purview of Sattvaguna. So, those who continue to live in these three gunas, what happens to them? Asurim yonim apannaha mudhaha. Such people, avivekinaha, they are ultimately ending up in this Asuri Yoni. Asuri Yoni means the lower lives where there is no discrimination of higher purpose, there is no seeking for liberation, where they are living only within the framework of the three gunas. So, such mudhaha janmani janmani, in every birth, avivekinaha, Pratijanma tamo bahulasu eva yonishu jayamana. They are born again and again in those yonis, those lives, where it is tamo bahulatva, where tamo guna is predominant factor of existence. And such people, adho gachantaha mudhaha, mam ishwaram aprapya, anasadya, without reaching me, the Ishvara. Now who is Ishvara? Who is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is Satchidananda, where Yad Gatvana Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama, where one is liberated from the limitations of birth and death. So all these things, mam aprapya, not reaching me, he kaunteya tataha tasmat api yanti adhamam nikrishta tamam gatim. Not only they don't reach me, but they go on going down the lane in lower and lower forms of existence. In Vivek Chudamani, we have seen this example. Like if you are on the 10th or 20th floor in the staircase and you are playing a rubber ball, and if the rubber ball falls from your hand, so the first jump the rubber ball will take will be 2 steps. The next will be 4 steps. Thereafter 10 steps, and it will go on with more and more speed as it goes downwards. In the same manner, once this involvement in the material life is there is no end to self-destruction. This is best seen when you go in the Western world, where our Indians have gone and only imitating the Western lifestyle as regard indulgence is concerned. But their sincerity, their dedication, their commitment, their perfection, that they will not take. Their independence, not depending on the parents for their survival, that they will not take. And only the indulgent, licentious freedom is accepted, and as a result, when they are grown up and their children are also following the same footsteps, then they turn to religion, and then they start singing the glory of our culture. By then it is too late. Such people, mam aprapya nikrishtatamam gatim yanti, they go lower and lower lives. माम अप्राप्य इव इति मत प्राप्तौ काचित अपि आशंका अस्ति अतः मत शिष्ट साधु मार्गम अप्राप्य इत्यर्थः. When Bhagavan said that because they are not following the path shown by me, what is the path shown by the Lord? The Vedas are Ishvara Nishvasitam. The path shown in the Vedas is the path shown by the Lord. So instead of following that Shastra, when they start leading their own life, they are bound to go away and get lost in self-destruction. So, up to here, the whole story is over. After having told the story of this disgusted existence, now we have to learn what is the moral of the story. See, like the children are told the story in somebody's house, I think principal of a school, and she had a son, and every mother is proud of her child, so she was also proud. When we reached there, she said, Swamiji, my son is so much fond of Ramayana and he virtually remembers almost all the dialogues. I don't know how many times he has seen Ramayana. I said, you have seen him? Yes. You know everything? Yes, you can ask me any question. I said, no, I want to know what is the moral of the story. Whom do you want to be like? Yes, I'll tell you. I want to be like Ravana. Ha 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 ha. That is the moral of the story. So, here, after having heard this disgusting lifestyle culminating in self-destruction for these exclusive materialist, indulgent people, dharma dhvajitvam, pretending to walk the path of righteousness, after having heard the story, now what is the moral of the story? Sarvasya asuryaha sampadaha sankshepaha ayam uchyate. Now the moral of the story is told. What is the summary of all what is said so far? Yasmin trividhe sarvam asur sampad bhedaha anantaha api antar bhavati. In these three, all what is said is included. If these three things are corrected, all other things stand corrected. So, api antar bhavati and yad pariharena parivrutaha cha bhavati. If these three things are taken care of, rejected, then all the earlier things which we have heard in so many verses, that also stands cancelled. Because jad moolam sarvasya anarthansya tat etat uchyate. The root cause of all the tragic lifestyle and existence is, now 21st verse, Trividham narakasedam Dvaram nashanam atmanaha Kama krodhas tatha lobhaha Tasmade tatrayam tyajet. Trividham, three prakaram. Narakasya praptau, for attainment of hell. Idam dvaram, nashanam atmanaha. This is the gateway by which we can lead to self-destruction. Why there are three gateways? Because of the need. Because there are a lot of people going, so they cannot fulfill the requirement through one gate. In the heaven there is only one gate. And what is that gate? That gate is called a Shanti. Where there is absence of kama, desire, Shanti. Where there is absence of krodha, anger, Shanti. Where there is absence of lobha, greed, there is shanti. So there are two categories. One is one door shanti and other is kama, krodha, lobha. So these are the three doors leading to narak. Naraka means a disgusting, tortured existence. Hell, what is called. Now, yadvaram pravishan eva nashati atma kasmaichit purusharthaya yogyo no bhavati. The destruction of the self means only one thing, and that is the self is never destroyed. First principle. Then we become unqualified for anything higher. It is something like, Bhagavan says in the second chapter, if you remember, Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramshad buddhinashaha buddhinashad pranashyati. When there is the destruction of wisdom, one is destroyed. That doesn't mean he dies, he continues to live. Please understand here. Atmanaha nashanam, destroying the self, means what? Not utilizing the opportunity given to us. That is the meaning of self-destruction. Like, the Lord has given us the opportunity to be born as human beings. And thereafter, the Lord has given us an opportunity that we are born as healthy human beings, not idiots. We are not born with any physical elements, psychological problems. Everything is perfect. We are born with all perfect faculties. And yet, if we do not put right kinds of efforts for something higher, that is called as self-destruction. Therefore, Atmanaha Nashanam means Kasmaichit Purusharthaya Yogyo no Bhavati iti etat. So such a person is not fit to achieve anything higher. He is simply destroying himself. This is what we can see in the so-called excessively prosperous society. Their children, there is one family in Bombay, sometime I go to them, a Punjabi family, so rich that they have got dozens of huge multi-storied buildings, big builder, and their children, when I was called to their place for lunch, I went, and that their daughter, who is about 22, 23, at about 12:30, he was sleeping. I said, she is not well. No, Swamiji, she worked late night. I said, oh, what she is working? Is she in airlines and all that? No, not that. She doesn't work for earning money. Then, she was busy with her disco party. And disco parties normally start, really they take off after 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock. And by the time poor girl comes home, it is 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Naturally, you don't expect them to get up early morning. Now you can imagine. Now, all the comforts, everything the Lord has given. But there is no search for something higher. This is such a disgusting situation that although Lord has given us everything, we don't search for something higher. Therefore, this is called as Atmanaha Nashanam Kasmaichit Purusharthaya Yogyo na Bhavati iti etat. Ataha uchyate dwaram nashanam atmanaha. This is the meaning of self-destruction. Kim tat, what is that which is the doorways or gateways to destruction? Kamaha, krodhaha, tatha lobaha. Three of them. Actually, it is not three, it is one only. The sense of incompleteness leads to the desire, kama. When there is a desire, there are two options. Either desire is fulfilled or it is not fulfilled. When the desire is not fulfilled, towards that cause there is revolt of the mind called as anger. And this anger is directly proportionate to the intensity of the desire. Like there was one girl, she had fallen in love with one boy. So the parents were worried because that boy was not doing anything, good for nothing. So they came to me. I said, is their love very intense? Swamiji, we do not know. I said, you just try this technique. You tell her, you are not going to meet him, okay? And see what is the reaction and let me do it. So she did that, and then Swamiji, when I told, don't meet him at all, she said, okay, mommy, and she stopped meeting. I said, then it was nothing very serious, don't take it very seriously. And when it comes, if you don't allow me to marry with him, I will kill myself and I will hang myself, or I will shoot you, then understand the case is very serious. So, when the desire is intense, with the double intensity is the anger that is manifested towards the obstacle which doesn't allow the fulfillment of the desire. Now when the desires are fulfilled, what happens? Please observe this in your own mind. When the desires are fulfilled, we start developing another disease called as greed. One desire is fulfilled, second is fulfilled, third is fulfilled, fourth is fulfilled. Slowly that child develops a character that whatever I want, I must get it, that's it. And such people, when they end up in this lobh or the greed, and in their life, for the first time, when they have to listen no, or when they have to accept the defeat, they are totally shattered. And such people become then disoriented, they commit suicide, they are frustrated because of this either anger or greed. Now see what these two things do. Kama is born in our heart. Anger is the reaction of the desire on others. And greed is the reaction of the desire on ourselves. A greedy man, when his greed is not fulfilled, either he becomes depressed, dejected, frustrated, revolts in or out, and such people always succumb to their own foolishness. Therefore, kama krodhastatha lobaha tasmad etatrayam tyajet. Therefore, these three things should be rejected for good. Now here, one very important principle to be learned. What is the meaning of giving up desire? The meaning is that whenever we have any desire, any longing for something, suppose that desire is not fulfilled, is it the end of our life? No. Never mind, next time. What is great about it? Once we take this view of life, that this is not the end. Suppose, one girl, she wanted to go for medical and she did very well, but in the open competition she fell short of 1% or 0.5% mark. And then her colleague, her friend, who was a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, some kind of scheduled student, hardly 45-48% marks. She got admission. And this girl, in spite of getting 96, 97, she could not get. So she was very frustrated and became depressed, rejected. And she told her father that like we can become Christian, we can become Muslim, can't we become scheduled caste? Is there any technique that we go and get a certificate that I am a scheduled caste so that I will get this thing and all that? So disgusted. So when that girl came, I asked her, I said, look here, is this the end of your life? You tell me. Don't think that this is the end of your life. There are many more avenues. And who knows that this is happening in your interest? You will see, those people who face challenges right in their childhood, they really come up in a great way. Otherwise, at the most, what will you do? You will take some government job and whole life spent wasting there. Now you don't get any government job. Now you have to prove your worth. And when you have to prove your worth, you will definitely come up in this world. Therefore, every additional difficulty, when it inspires us, then we are walking the spiritual path. And that is why these desires are the obstacles. We only create an imaginary situation. Then if I don't get, what is the life without this? If I don't get, I will kill the whole world. If I get, I must get every time I want. This weakness is called as desire, anger and greed. So, tasmad etat trayam tyajet. Therefore remember, desire is not a strength. Desire is a weakness. Anger is not a strength. Anger is an expression of weakness. Greed is not a fulfillment. Greed is a declaration of bankruptcy. Once we understand this, then we will automatically be freed from them. Please remember, when we give up something through understanding, it is called as dispassion. When give up under compulsion, it is called as frustration. So never lead a frustrated life. Therefore, recognize that all the problems are only this. The difference between Paramatma and us is only this one difference. Paramatma with desire is Jiva. Jiva with desire, without desire is Paramatma. Only one factor. Because what is desire? Desire is a sense of incompleteness with ourselves, then the sense of otherness with the world, and the interaction is called as desire. Therefore, the more we recognize this, that in our deep sleep, what is that which makes us happy is only one thing, and that is we are free from the impact of desires in our mind. No more desires are gurgling. Therefore, tasmad etat trayam tyajet. Yad etat dvaram nashanam atmanaha tasmat kamadi trayam etat tyajet tyagas stutihi iyam. This is the glorification of renunciation. Bhagavad also says in the Upanishad that tyage naike amrutatva manashu. Now when we have decided to get rid of this kama, krodha, lobha, desire, anger, greed, what it means? It means, first of all, what is in this world that we have authority on? This is one very good spiritual practice. Give up your authority on everything in this world. अपना किसी पर भी कोई अधिकार नहीं. See, your life will totally change. Whenever we expect some kind of adhikar, I have done so much, I have paid so much of amount, You may pay and yet you will get nothing. Once we take this stand in life, then we are spiritual. And with everything, if we start fighting, then we are gone. So, tasmad etat trayam tyajet. Now, when a seeker is thus freed from the impact of these three negative forces, then what happens? Etair vimukta kaunteya tamodvaray stribhirnaraha आचरत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम् एतैः तमोद्वारैः these three doors of hell leading to the tamoguna, the lowest form of existence. Etaihi tamodvaraihi yaha vimuktaha. He who has liberated himself from the impact of the three gunas. So what he has done? Now he has no more pramada nidra alasya in his life. Second thing, he is no more interested in the accumulation of the worldly things. Tamoguna conquered. Rajoguna, becoming the victim of the desires and the urgency and importance of indulgence. Rajoguna, that is discarded through education, and Sattvaguna, Dharmadvajitvam, recognizing oneself to be far superior than others. When these three things are rejected, etaihi tamodvaraihi vimuktaha, he Kaunteya, he Kuntiputra, he Arjun, tamasaha narakasya dukkha mohatmakasya dvarani kamadaya. So, etair vimukta Kaunteya tamodvaraihi. Why this is the door of the tamas? Tamasaha narakasya. This is the gateway of the hell. What is the hell? Dukkha mohatmakasya. Where there is misery, where there is delusion, we are in hell. Please understand this point. Hell need not be sthana vishesha. Like if you go to one particular place, you are in a hell. Or if you go after some time, then you are in a hell. No. Hell is these two things. When experiences are under the influence of delusion and the miseries become the primary lifestyle, then we are in hell. I told you once one story. A person reached a Mahatmaji and said, please protect me, I don't want to go to hell, I have committed many sins. And leading a life of guilt, self-insulting, disgusted existence. So Mahatmaji told him, you will not go to hell because you don't have to go, you are already there. Hell is not that you have to go in time, go in place. No. These are the two things. Dukkha mohatmakasya narakasya tamasaha dvaraihi. And which are they? They are kamadayaha. So whether the desires are fulfilled or not fulfilled, they are going to give us trouble. How the desires give us trouble one way or the other? On this point, there are many stories which are told in our scriptures. One or two stories I will tell you to understand this point. How the desires are ultimately booking us for the miserable existence. In the Bhagavad Mahapuran Mahatmya, first 6th chapter, there is a story of one Atmadev and his wife, Dhunduli. Now this fellow, he is all the time wanting to have a child. But she is, the modern type. You can imagine when this type of stories appear in the, Puranas. So what is happening today is nothing new. It was already happening earlier also. So, when she has no interest, but he has all the interest, so he went to a Mahatma, got the fruit, and the Mahatma told, look here, don't bother for these things. By getting children, nobody has become ever happy, and as regards you are concerned, you will definitely not become happy by children. Because now you are miserable because you don't have, afterwards you will be because you have. But do you think that our wisdom works that time? And as a result, he has the son, and then the whole story begins how he suffered. Now, had he not insisted on having that desire fulfilled, he would have lived happily. So, na prajaya. Second thing. Many times we imagine that the wealth is the source of all happiness. Therefore, we desire more and more wealth. And whatever Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, artham anartham bhavaya nityam nasti tataha sukhalesha satyam putradapi dhana bhajam bhiti sarvatraisha vihitariti. I have seen in one hospital, I went to see one Christian man, old man. He was known to me, and he was owning a petrol pump. So when he was admitted in the hospital, I got a message, so I just went to see him. And in the evening at about 5 o'clock, visiting hours, 4 to 6, so I reached 5 o'clock. And when I went, and he was sleeping, so I just slowly went and sat down and made some sound. Immediately his hand went on the pistol what he has kept, and yes. I said, are you going to kill me or what? Oh, Sadhu Baba, you are here. Good. Sit down. I said, why you are keeping this pistol with you? You are lucky. He told me. I said, yes, I am lucky, you are not killing me, therefore I am lucky. He said, my children are after me. They have told the doctors that somehow finish him. And the doctor told me, this is what your children told, what we should do. So I told the doctor, don't worry about money, I will pay you a lot and lot of money, but don't kill me. I said, why your children want to kill you? Because they are not getting the total amount that I have. And they have a fear that I am not going to give them the money to them. And only 2 of them. And they have fear that I am little bit of this social work, charity oriented. Therefore, I may transfer the whole thing in a trust or give to somebody. Before this happens, they want to finish me. Now tell me, you live your whole life and with such a fear. So, desire for children, na prajaya, na dhanena, na karmana. Those who imagine that I will do this thing, I will do this thing, and they do very hard, no doubt about it. Whole life they spend working day and night. And all their earnings are enjoyed by their dependents, and these fools are working day and night only for that. And then toward the end of the life, then there is regret. That kimahagam sadhuna karavam, why I did not take the right course of life when I was young. So, keeping this in view, it is to be recognized that the desire, anger or the greed, they have never made anybody happy in this world. So, desire for wealth, anger for wealth, greed for wealth, desire for children, anger for children, greed for children. Anything in this world is going to destroy us and take us away from our own glory. And therefore, they are to be rejected. So, when these are vimuktaha, one is freed from that, then that naraha acharati anuttishtati. Then the moment your desires are no more disturbing you, now what is happening, you know? All your energy is conserved. Now about this conservation of energy and utilization, I will tell you a few important things. When you are going to sleep, that time do not sit for meditation. Many people have this problem. Just when they go finish their food and all that, go to the bed and sit for meditation. Don't do that. That time just say one or two small prayers if you are saying and go to sleep straight away. And after your sleep is freshly over, then you sit for your meditation and all that. Just before going to sleep, if you sit down and then do pranayam and then chant the Lord's name and do meditation, your prana shakti is agitated, enlivened, and as a result you will not go to sleep. I received a phone call a few days before from US, and this was the problem. Swamiji, I do not know what I should do. I get up early morning, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and then there is no sleep. Then I keep on thinking all unwanted things, the sleep doesn't come. And I try to do meditation doesn't happen. And then whole day go, I don't know. I said, you must take full sleep. But then what is to be done? I said, when you get up at night, finish your bathroom, then come to the bed and play, sleep. Turn on your left side, focus your attention on your heart, and start breathing slowly and deep, as if you are snoring away, and you will fall asleep. That time don't do Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. All your prana shakti becomes awakened and then you cannot sleep. Therefore, after we have curtailed the expenditure of energy through the desires, etc., all that energy will be conserved. Now, if this conserved energy is not properly employed, such people become problematic to themselves. There is one couple I know. This boy married 2 children, now he has. Now he got into this pranayam and meditation only by reading books, all kinds of. He used to sit for meditation 6 hours, 8 hours, long hours of sitting. And slowly, he has no interest in earning money, but he has all the interest in eating good food. And poor wife, she has to work day and night, look after the children, look after this big child at home, and he does nothing. He said, God's will provide me food. I am not going to work. Now tell me, this kind of perversion is no good. This happens only when we have stopped earning because we have no desire. But food is there, then you have to earn. Please remember, never give up production of wealth in life. It is very, very essential. Otherwise, we end up in lethargy. We end up in indulgence or indolence. So, when we have thus freed ourselves from the desire, then what do you do with this energy? Now, employ this energy for your proper spiritual practice. Now, what is the proper spiritual practice? Through the body, seva. Through the speech, chanting the Lord's name, conducting satsang, etc., etc. Through the mind, study and understanding the scriptures. And this all must become our anusthana. Therefore, the word is vimuktaha acharati anutishtati. Please remember, life must be lived as anusthana. Anusthana means with commitment and clarity. Otherwise, like a kati patang, sometime we get up, we don't get up, we don't get up, we sleep. This is not the way of spiritual life. Then only slowly we'll utilize that conserved energy in a creative manner. So, tataha naraha acharati anutishtati kim atmanaha shreyaha. Then he will start working for his evolution. Atmanaha shreyaha yat pratibaddham purvam nacharati tad apagaman acharati. This evolution which was held up earlier because of his involvement in the fulfillment of his desires, now that pratibandha, that obstacle is taken away. And as a result, now he again gets into the spiritual mood with all sincerity and intensity. And tataha tat acharanat yati param gati moksham api iti. And when he starts leading his spiritual life with all sincerity, then he not only attains the good in this world but also in the other world. So good in this world is prosperity, etc., and good in the other world is moksha, liberation from the I. Sarvasya etasya asura sampat parivarjanasya shreya acharanasya cha shastram karanam. Shastra pramanat ubhayam shakyam kartum nanyatha ataha. Now what is the foundation which will determine and decide what is for our good and what is for our bad? Who is there to decide? And here the teacher brings us the most important topic, and that etasya sarvasya asur sampat parivarjanasya, removal of all the negative materialistic viewpoint of life, and shreya acharanasya, and practice of that type which will lead to our evolution. Shastram karanam, the scriptures are the authority, and therefore shastra pramanat ubhayam shakyam kartum. So only by the authority of the scriptures alone we will be able to practice both. Remove the negative views of life and practice the positive views of life. And therefore yaha shastra vidhi mutsrujya vartate kamakarataha nasa siddhimavapnoti na sukham na param gatim. Yaha shastra vidhim कर्तव्य अकर्तव्य ज्ञान कारणम विधि प्रतिषेधाख्यम उत्सृज्य त्यक्त्वा वर्तते कामकारतः काम प्रयुक्तः सन. He whose life is not protected by the do's and don'ts of the scriptural injunctions, it is extremely necessary that we must protect ourselves from ourselves. There is a saying, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. He who is following the scriptural authorities as the guiding principles in their life, they are alone protected. Otherwise, we will start living our life according to our own whims and fancy. Now for this, let us understand what is the meaning of Shastra or the scriptures. Why so much importance? See, to understand this, take an example. traffic rules. Now, traffic rules are formulated keeping in view what? The welfare of everybody without any biasness. If this is understood in the same manner, the Shastra, the scriptural injunctions are meant for the absolute good of all the jivas. And therefore, Shastra not only takes care of our life here, but also hereafter. And therefore, it is necessary that we have to honor, respect, practice sincerely the guidance and the authority of the scriptural statement. There is no choice. Otherwise, what will happen? Like most of the people do, whatever is convenient to them, that they interpret, and what is not convenient to them, they say, we don't believe. This is not the way. For example, if we are practicing, let us say, Shraddha. Now, who told you to practice Shraddha? Scriptures. Now, for whom the Shraddha is practiced? For the one who is departed. So, what does it mean? It means after departure from the body, the soul continues to exist. Yes, continues to exist. So, you are now practicing Shraddha by giving food, etc. to the departed soul. Yes. Now, when you are supposed to respect, revere, take care of the departed soul from the body, what it means? It means we should also have to respect the living ones, not only the departed ones. See? That is the meaning. Now, second thing. The life continues after death. Who told us? Scriptures told us. So, that life which continues after death, who can tell us? Only the scriptures. Nobody else can tell us. And therefore, when it is said that if you do good, nahi kalyana krut kaschit durgatim tata gacchati, you will never be destroyed. The good will come to your help and you will be benefited. When this is said, we immediately start, what good, I am never benefited in my life. But who told you are doing good? We all have that funny notion that konyosti sadrusho maya. Therefore, if we have to accept the principles given by scriptures about life, we have to accept the do's and don'ts which are promulgated by the same scriptures. So, yaha shastra vidhim usrujya. Now, what happens? When we do not accept the scriptural authority for our lifestyle, usrujya tyaktva, having given up, then vartate kamakarataha. Then who is guiding our life? It is not the car of the Lord, but it is the kamakar, like the Maruti car, kamakar. We will be riding on the vehicle of desire. And what is the desire? Desire has no logic. Or we put the logic in such a manner that our own views are held. And therefore, if we are not following strictly the scriptural injunctions, we will be victimized by our own desires. So, yaha shastra vidhi musrujya vartate kamakarataha. Now see, Arjun had, in the first chapter we have seen, decided to withdraw from the battlefield. Now his decision to withdraw from the battlefield, was it in tune with the scriptural authority, injunctions, or was it the reaction of his own weaknesses? Naturally, it was a reaction of his own weaknesses. And then what he did? He started quoting the scriptures which are conveniently proving his point. But Bhagwan never agreed with that, because you may quote the scriptures, but are you quoting the scriptures under the influence of your personal desires, or you have reason above all the desires? Therefore, yaha shastra vidhi musrujya vartate kamakarataha. Now what happens to such a person? Na sa siddhim purushartha yogyatam avapnoti. He never becomes fit for, here purushartha yogyata means for the parama purushartha, for liberation, for the moksha. He does not remain a fit candidate for the liberation. You know why? When our life is according to our own whims and fancy, our liberation also will be determined and defined by us. See? Like, as I told you, most of the people have this definition of liberation. Liberation of I. And therefore, I get out of that misery, now I am happy. But I is still there. I get out of the unhealthy condition, now I am healthy. But I is still there. And this is the culprit of all the kinds. Therefore, even the moksha, the liberation, if you see in the various religions, they have got their own way of liberation. If you do this thing, kill some people, then you will go to the heaven and enjoy there. Or when you follow me only, then you will go to the heaven. When? On the last day of judgment. But when the last day is going to come? Never. Then what will happen? Keep upon waiting upon over there in your grave. Therefore, this liberation is also depending upon one's own whim and fancy. That is why na sa siddhim avapnoti. He is neither able to understand what is the meaning of liberation. That's why many people, when they come and ask about questions, these questions have no meaning. Their questions are only the same thing. How to do meditation? What for meditation? What is meditation? Those things we don't want to know. Simply sit in one posture and then feel that we are doing meditation. To whom are we deceiving? Unless our understanding is clear about Jagat, about Jiva, about Ishvara, about Parabrahma, Paramatma, Yasmat Ksharamati Tohum Aksharad Vichottamaha, then only all your spiritual practices gather meaningful approach. Otherwise it is only beating in the darkness. So, na sa siddhyam amapnoti, na apin asmin loke sukham. And such a person, he can never have happiness in this world. Na api param prakrushtam gatim swargam moksham va. Nor will he have ever paragati, either going to the higher worlds such as swarga, etc., heaven, etc., nor liberation. Nor will they be ever liberated from the relative existence and attain the bliss of absolute non-dual being. Therefore, in the last verse, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthitau Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Harhasi. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Tasmat, therefore, hey Arjun, Te, for you, Shastram Pramanam. What you should do or what you should not do, who will decide? Not our own freedom. It will be decided by the authority of the scriptures. See? Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Karya Akarya Vyavasthitau. For the determination of, see what is the meaning given by Bhagavan Shankaracharya, kartavya akartavya vyavasthayam. What is to be done, what is not to be done, what is right to be done and what is not right to be done. About this vyavastha, about this final decision, it is the authority of the scriptures alone which will be a final word. Tasmad Shastram Pramanante. And which are the Shastras? They talk about the life of the Jiva from the totality point of view and not from this one particular manifestation point of view. One. Second thing, the scriptures talk about the life of a Jiva in such a way that ultimately the Jiva Bhava is discarded and yat gatvana nivartante tadhama paramam mama. We have to recognize that we may start with the hypothesis that we are the Jiva or the soul, but ultimately kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. When the Jiva inquires about his own essential nature, he comes to know that there is but one reality. The Jiva Jagat Ishvara Bheda does not have any hold, any impact from the absolute standpoint. Therefore, for that, Shastram Pramanam te karya karya vyavastitau. Therefore, ataha jnatva buddhva shastra vidhanoktam vidhi vidhanam shastrena vidhanam shastra vidhanam kuryat na kuryat iti evam lakshanam tena uktam swakarmam yattad kartum iha arhasi. Therefore, you should decide and come to know what is to be done, what is not to be done, not by our own biasness about the situation, but by very important understanding that what is right for us, what should be done by us, what is wrong for us, what should not be done by us. This will be determined only by the authority of the scriptures. Do you remember in your Taittiriya Upanishad when you chant Atha yadite karma vichikitsa va syad vrutta vichikitsa va syad ye tatra brahmanaha sammarshinaha yukta ayuktaha aluksha dharma kama syu yatha te tatra varteran tatha tatra vartethaha esha adeshaha. See? Whenever we have got any doubt, what is to be done, what is not to be done, whom will you approach? You will approach the authority of the scriptures. And who are the authority of the scripture? Ye tatra brahmanaha sammarshinaha yukta ayuktaha. Those whose life is a demonstration of the scriptural authority. Sat shastri kurvanti shastrani. See? And therefore, it is necessary that our life is always under the guidance of the authorities of the Vedas and not by any other means. So, Jnatma Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iha Arhasi. Therefore, here on this battlefield, now you determine what is your purpose of being on the battlefield. Is it that you have come on the battlefield of your own choice? No. Now, let us take the overall view of the whole situation. Why Bhagavan is bringing Shastra Praman with such a great emphasis? In the first chapter, when Arjuna comes on the battlefield, he comes on the battlefield under the compulsion of the situations or of his own choice. Never by his own choice. From the point of devotion, take the other view. We come in this world not because we wanted or we don't want. We have to come. Our entry in this world is without our choice. Our departure from this world is without our choice. So, our existence in this world is also without our choice. Therefore, if there is zero choice given to us, then who is determining our life? It is the Lord. And if we are in tune with the divine, means what we will do? If we are in tune with the government, what we will do? We will follow the government rules and regulations. So what are the rules and regulations for the jiva to live in this world? The scriptures. And what the scriptures do? The scriptures determine that you are in a particular place, in a particular situation for your own evolution. See? Every one of us is placed in a particular situation, in a particular place for our evolution. But this we will not understand. Like, the example which I gave you a number of times, the cloth will never understand why I am being tortured in the washing machine. In the same manner, every difficulty, every problem, every situation is given to us by the Lord so that we can evolve. There is a grand scheme of evolution, and we have to cooperate with that. And that cooperation is when we follow the scriptural injunctions as the guiding principle. And that is why, in our culture, the tradition is given so much of importance. Traditions are nothing but the practice of the religious or the scriptural injunctions on a long-term basis is called as tradition. Like, whether we know Taittiriya Upanishad or not, we should respect our mother as God, we should respect our father as God, etc. This has come to us from the scriptures. We may not know. See? Never take food without sharing with others. This all is given to us only through the scriptures. And therefore, what is the spiritual life, what the scriptures want us to practice? Do not become victimized by your personal desires. We have to grow out of the desires. And to grow out of the desires, we have to get out of the likes and dislikes. Desires are existing in our heart in the form of like and dislike. When I like something, it is a desire. When I don't like something, it is a desire. So when these likes and dislikes are inquired into, we find out they have no foundation. They have no logic. And therefore, how do we come out of these? The simplest technique is follow the rules and regulation, do's and don'ts given by the scriptures. This is where the importance is given to the instruction given by the teacher. When the teacher tells us something, we just follow it. Whether it is right or wrong, required or not required, if we start evaluating, then we do not want to come out of our personal judgment. Very important. And therefore, Shastras are the authority which will determine what we should do or what we should not do. According to this, hey Arjun, you have come on the battlefield without your choice. Now according to the Shastra, you are quoting left and right. If you are a Kshatriya, for a Kshatriya, better than the Dharma Yuddha, there is no other place to live for. And therefore, you are talking scriptural wisdom, but you are not living that wisdom in your life. And therefore, iha kartum arhasi, swakarma kartum arhasi. So this is the time that you have to practice your own dharma. Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. In this manner, Shastras are the best way to follow in life. And if we are not able to study and know all the scriptures, go to the wise man available in your place and follow sincerely. But again, as I cautioned you, go only to that Mahatma who has nothing to achieve in this world, nothing to do good to the society. Go to a person who has to construct a house, construct a ashram, have schools and colleges. He will start using you. And if you are not useful, you will be fooled. Therefore, follow strictly only one thing, and that is Paramatma. In this life itself, we have to discover the truth. Keep this as a goal. And other than this, there is nothing important for us. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavasthitau Jnatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartumimarhasi. And therefore, Arjun, karma adhikara bhumi pradarsanartham iti. So, this is your karma bhumi. You are on the battlefield to fulfill your duties. You are not in this battlefield to evaluate the situation provided by the Lord. No. We have to fulfill our duties. And in this manner, this 16th chapter gave us a very clear picture of these two types of dispositions that we have. In this, in the Daivi Sampatti, this distinction please understand. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, this is the primary. And Danam Damascha Yajnascha Swadhyaya Stapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyama Krodastyaga Shantira Paishunam Daya Bhuteshva Loluptam Madhavam Rira Chapalam Teja Kshama Dhruti Shaucham Adroho Natimanita. These are supports, so that ultimately we come to Sattva Samshuddhi. When there is a Sattva Samshuddhi, then Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. Then we will be able to understand what is the truth and then practice it. And after you have practiced and come to recognize the absolute reality that you are Abhayam, ultimately you will discover freedom from fear in life. Thus, these two things, Daiva and the Asura. The spiritual is the Daiva and the materialist is the Asura, is beautifully, distinctly brought out. For what purpose? For practicing in life. So, Daivya Adanaya Pradarshan Kriyate and Rakshasi Asuri Nibandhanaya Ataha Parivarjanaya. So they are to be rejected. In this manner, this 16th chapter is concluded.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.